In love did God bring the world into existence. In love is God going to bring it to that wondrous transformed state. And in love will the world be swallowed up in the great mystery of the one who has performed all these things. In love will the whole course of the governance of creation be finally comprised. Saint Isaac the Syrian. Cosmological, theological, and wow, that is a whole lot of biblical and patristic synthesis in one quote. In love, God definitely brought the world into existence. He spoke. He brought things into existence. In love is God going to bring it to that wondrous transformed state. He already did that by bringing his only son. He already did that by, well, the flood, the Tower of Babel, a lot of things that happen in Exodus, his 10 Commandments, which is one of the more famous things. Well, famous. One of the more important things. And then, continuing on throughout the Old Testament, setting rules, setting boundaries, and then in the New Testament, being more of a less of a smiter and more of an observer. And then the world being swallowed up in the great mystery of the one who has performed all these things. Yes, God has performed all these things and makes these things continue to happen. However, the mysteries for what the gifts, such as the Eucharist, such as the sacraments, such as the things that God has given us, are the things God has revealed to us. So we know that not only performing all these things within us, God has given us all these things for these other mysteries to be revealed to us. And in love will the whole course of the governance of creation be finally comprised. His creation, his dictation, his spirit that brought life and brought God's word into existence, which is a living word. It will be God having the final say with that word. And the revealed theology that has already came to us will be, once again, something that comes to us. So there is that factor that God continues to reveal that to us. And that creation and all of creation has gone through these stages. Now, Bishop Williamson talks about the ages of the church, and many monastics in Orthodox Christianity do as well. I haven't heard many of them outright say it. More than likely, I'm thinking Father Seraphim Morose. And as far as how these ages of the church compromise, or how these ages of the church have developed and have gone on through creation to dictate to us whether by the mysteries and the revealed theology God has given us or has not. So there is that between, like I said previously, the Old Testament, which foreshadowed and gave way to what happens in the New Testament. So he brought love into the world into existence by not only in the Old Testament, but in the New Testament. So through his creation and through all of the books and all of the rules that preceded him bringing it into existence, which is through his one and only Son, Jesus Christ, and through the Theotokos, which gave us that. And not only that, his continued love is showing in the wondrous transformed states of everything. And then, in love, will the world be swallowed up by the greatest mystery of the one who has performed all these things. Which is just, that's a very broad statement, but that's in a New Testament sense. That is God, well, what we recite in the Creed. His own, seated at the right hand of the Father, his only begotten Son will come back to judge the living and the dead. That has a lot of implications to it, but as far as the world being swallowed up by the great mystery, that is, judgment is the great mystery, is the greatest mystery of them all. So that is, and that's the reason why we do all the things in the church, and we treat the church as the authority, the ultimate authority. And through that is why Jesus Christ is the head of the Orthodox Church. So now, in love, the whole course of the governance of creation can be finally comprised. The Lord's Prayer, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. That's the tie-up, that's the tie-in right there. That is how it will become, once again, the kingdom, which is, and people forget, this is dynamic. This is not just a set of rules. This is a dynamic theosis. This is a dynamic catechesis. This is a dynamic gnosis. This is a full, and what we call the fullness of the faith. It's there. It's always there. It's never in or out of someone's life. And that is what makes up this quote says that fully, which is not a surprise because the church fathers, once again, so profoundly prophetic, and so just continues on the traditions, and just continues on the revelations, and just continues on these things where they relate these words and see it come into being.